Hey everyone, this is Beth from Art by B Dell. I'm working on the pages where I have them all strung out together with the flap that folds in like this. And there are 9 total, counting the base one. And what I'm doing is applying a little gesso to each of them. You can see I've already done this one, I've already done this one, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so I'm just using the brush and just spreading a little on. I think that this look gives the papers a little bit of a dreamy look to them, which or a romantic, however you want to look at it. I think that's pretty cool. These are going to be pages that I'm going to do my 3 kids and their families and my 2 daughter-in-laws, the family pictures, anyhow, the family group. So I kind of wanted them all to be the same. Didn't have to be, but I kind of wanted them all to be. I said, I think in the last video, I was going to search Pinterest to see if I could find something that would strike me that I wanted to do like on all of the 9 pages. Well, I went, but none of the typical, what do I want to say? None of the typical pockets or flip outs or anything was really what I was looking for. And I think what I decided that I was looking for actually was to do some little bit of more of an art journal rather than a junk journal page on this. I could have done like a scrapbook page, and some of these do remind me more of a scrapbook page, but anyhow, so I have the gesso on them. And then from here I want to do some stenciling. So I'm going to use my little tiny circle stencil here. See if I can find a name on it. It is Deco Americana 201707. So I'm going to take my gesso and a palette knife. What I'm going to do is just do one edge of each of these. And I don't think it really matters which edge. I want to, like, maybe instead of putting a paper border on here, I want to do something with inks and stencils and paints. So that's what I'm aiming for. So I'll just put my stencil on here, add a little bit of this gesso on it, and get kind of a random border. Not all of them are going to be the same width, and that's okay too. You probably didn't see that one because I was probably off camera. You can see this one though. Go up a little bit higher with it. I'll have to watch I don't get too messy with it, or the circles won't be as noticeable. They'll look more like a smear, and I really don't want them to look like a smear. So I'll have to let this side dry before I can go on to the next step and do the next side or add the colors. I think I want to do each step on each side, there are 9 panels. There's 4 here, 4 on the flip side of them, and then 1 on the base of the Lapbook. So it's going to take a few minutes for these to dry, and meanwhile I'll go clean my stencil and I'll be right back. Okay, another part of the reason why I wanted to do something different on these is because as it is right now, this journal doesn't show that my favorite color is green. You would think it was pink, which I love pink too. I love pink and green together. So I'm going to take my Stabilo Woody, and I'm just going to color a little on the left-hand edge. And then I'm going to take my water brush, and I'll bleed that out, just to get a little green in here. I don't really know which shade of green is my favorite, but I do love this lime green, spring green, whatever you want to call it. Right now, spring green sounds great. So I think we need some more. Maybe along the bottom and top here. Add some more color in here. You could do this with watercolors. You could do this with gelatos would work. I'm going to take and wipe some off my little dots that I had put on with Gesso. And just have that green like that. I think I'm going to go in with a darker color too. And probably I'll use a distress ink for that. Try out some bundled sage on my scrap paper up here. That's kind of pretty. And peeled paint. Maybe we want to do both. I'm going to apply that with my acrylic block and spritz the acrylic block with a little water. You've seen me do this before on other projects. That's kind of pretty. For the peeled paint, I was going to say that's quite a bit darker than I thought it was. Bundled sage, I thought the peeled paint would be darker. But this bundled sage is kind of dark too, so maybe I don't need both. That's pretty. I don't think we need the peeled paint, just the bundled sage. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this on all the 9 pages too, and I'll be back. All right, for the next step, I want to add some coffee splatters. Let me tip this up and see if I can get them to run a little, move around a little. I'm going to dry that and do it to the back side. A lot of time when I do the coffee, I think I went too far and I get too much. And this time I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, that's really nice because it's just a little bit. And I'm really liking the way that looks on my paper. Let's see if you can see that. It's not too much. I think it's just right. Hey everyone. So I guess I got carried away. I don't know if you all get carried away or not, but I get carried away and I get to working in whatever project I'm working on, and I totally lose track of what's going on around me and what I should be doing or shouldn't be doing. And anyhow, so we left off with the little mini circles that we put on with a stencil. First we gessoed it, then we went over it with a stencil with more gesso with the mini circles, and then I added my green Woody Stabilo all pencil and put some green on here. And then the next thing I did was I added some crackle paste and went away to let it dry. And when I came back, obviously it was dry, and so I went right to work and added some vintage photo distress ink refill to it and let that dry. And then I got started with this morning. I thought, oh well, let's just put our stencils on here now, and I applied my first stencils. I will show you what I did from there. The stencils I have that I'm using are Dreamweaver stencils. I have 5 of them. They're all these little flowers. Dreamweaver was by Linnell Harlow. And these stencils I purchased in 2002, so they're like 20 years old. They're brass stencils. I have a sunflower. I have a lily. I have an iris, a tulip, and a rose. So what I'm going to do is on each of my pages, I will put one of these flowers. So being that I have 5 of them, I will go across these and do the 5, and then I'll turn it over and do my 4 favorite ones. I'm not sure which one I'll leave out. Anyhow, I'm going to put it right on top. I want everything to be on the left-hand side, or do I? I think I do. And I'm going to put it right on top of my crackling paste. Now, the modeling paste I'm using is Master's Touch modeling paste. The crackle paste I used was golden crackle paste. So we just take some on our palette knife, hold our stencil down firmly wherever we might want it, and make a swipe. The best thing you can do when doing this is to not play around with it. Make your swipe, get away from it, and let it dry. The more you swipe, the more less chance you're going to have of getting paste where you don't want it. And so it's best if you just don't play with it, put it on there, and get away. And here's our tulip. We'll put the tulip here. And it's pretty obvious that we're going to play the waiting game again, where we're going to put this on these 5 pages, and then we can't do anything until this dries. Now, here I am telling you not to play with it, and this is not going on as well for me, so here I am playing with it. But I'll make my swipe down and then get up. And I do have more around the outside than what I've had on the other one. Not sure where I was going with this, but anyhow, the waiting game. We'll play the waiting game, waiting for them to dry. So I'll go work on something else while I'm waiting for these to dry. I don't like to dry modeling paste or crackling paste or any kind of paste with a heat gun because it can bubble. Even just plain gesso, it bubbles. And I don't like the bubble effect. It's the iris. And then we have the lily. And if you get some along the side, the edge of your stencil, you can just go in and just brush it off. There we go. So I will let these 5 dry, and then I'm going to go to the other side and put 4 more on, and then I'll be back to show you how I color them and add more color to my page. So our stencils are all dry, all of the modeling paste that we put on with these brass stencils by Dreamweaver. And the one I have for us to do today is the sunflower, and I'm just going to use my koi watercolors, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for a perfect image. I'm just looking to add some color. Okay, so there we have the sunflowers, and I am going to go ahead and off camera, I will paint the rest of them. We have a tulip, iris, an iris, a tulip, a peace lily, and a rose to do. So I will be back when it's done. Okay, so here we have our flowers done. So there's that page. This page. And then this page. And then our rose. And our sunflower. So there we have it, guys. And the other sides are just the same. There's sunflower. And the rose. And the tulip. The iris. And we're back to the sunflowers. So I hope you give this a chance and work on modeling place with stencils and flowers in your journal. And this completes this project, and we will be back. I guess what we have left to do is to attach the pocket for the book and for the journal, and to finish the outside. Remember, on the outside I said that I wanted to add, let's flip over here. Over here, I wanted to add some beads in amongst all of our folds here, and I need to put something inside here. So we are going to decide what we're going to do for sure there, and we're going to do that in our pocket, and then our lap book will be done all except for the journaling in it. So see you again soon, and you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye now.